These two have just found one of the many defoliating moth traps that the Alaska Division of Agriculture sets with help from the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the University of Alaska Fairbanks Cooperative Extension Service. Each summer, these traps are hung across the state to guard against outbreaks of invasive moths whose larvae can destroy entire forests by stripping the trees of all their foliage. Alaska is geographically removed from many of the more destructive moth species found in the lower 48 in Canada. But that doesn't mean it's immune from that threat. Careful monitoring allows Alaskan entomologists to act to suppress introductions before they become a problem. Defoliating moths can cause major damage to native vegetation as well as ornamental plants. One of the most destructive types is the spongy moth. The spongy moth is responsible for over $200 million in damage and defoliates an average of 700,000 acres of forest in the U.S. each year. Spongy moth caterpillars feed on over 300 species of plants. The adult moths lay large egg masses which may hold over 1,000 eggs each. These large, spongy egg masses are where the moth gets its name. Spongy moths are found in the eastern U.S. and Canada. They are also found in Asia. To date, spongy moths have not established in Alaska, and we'd like to keep it that way. Spongy moths are most likely to enter Alaska in one of two ways. They can hitchhike on a camper or boat which was parked where the moths live in the lower 48 or Canada, or they can catch a ride on a shipping container which was stored in an area where the moths occur. Consequently, trapping surveys are often focused on campgrounds, RV parks, shipping ports, and container yards. Survey efforts cover those parts of the state where the risk of introduction is considered relatively high. The traps work by using a special pheromone which is attractive to the male spongy moths. The traps are lined with glue, so the male moths will fly into the trap and get stuck. Traps are checked throughout the summer by field biologists on the lookout for spongy moths. The traps sometimes catch other insects and spiders who like to use it as a dry hideout. So just because there appear to be bugs inside doesn't mean spongy moths are present. And although gooey, the traps are harmless to people and the environment. Finding a spongy moth will trigger rapid response protocols with agencies, scientists, and local communities working together to protect Alaska's environment and natural resources. So if you see moth traps in the woods this summer, don't be afraid of them, and please leave the traps undisturbed. They are an important monitoring tool being used to keep Alaska wild and free from invasive species.